Alright, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be using a Cooper's kit. I haven't used a Cooper's kit since the very first time I brewed. The beer turned out, it was decent, had a little bit of cidery flavor to it. So I just wanted to, it's been probably over 5 years since I've done a kit, so I wanted to try one again and see how they turned out. At the same time, I also wanted to enhance it a little bit, so I'll go through the instructions of just using the Cooper's kit and then some of the things I'm going to do to enhance it, and I'm actually going to kind of turn it into Belgian style wit as well. So I selected the Hefe wheat, and basically there's yeast that comes with the kit. So this is probably pretty good yeast. I'll probably put it in the fridge and see if I want to save it for anything later. But so if you're making these kits for the first time, basically for the Hefe wheat, you just buy the Cooper's kit. You'd buy 1 kilogram of dry wheat malt. Basically pour this into the fermenter, add the dry malt extract, and then sprinkle on the Cooper's yeast, and you'll get a pretty good beer. As you'll see, what I have here is I have 3 pounds of Bavarian wheat, so I just want to up the alcohol a little bit. Instead of using the Cooper's yeast, I'm using Sapphire USO 5. So this will probably be a little closer to a Blue Moon style wit than a Belgian wit. I also have a pound of flaked oats I want to add, and you don't have to do this. You can make a perfectly good beer without it. Basically, I'm just going to add a little more mouthfeel, just a tad bit of flavor to the wit by doing this. The only other thing that you should do is, if you're going to use the flaked oats, which is totally optional, is get some 2-row, or I have some 6-row here. I'm going to do a little 35-minute partial mash, which is a good introductory to all grain brewing without having to buy all the equipment. Basically, just going to convert the 6-row here, about 1.5 pounds I think. We'll convert this 1 pound of flaked oats, no problem. So I'll walk you all through those steps, but like I said, that's completely optional. I said I wanted to kind of take the Cooper's kit and make a wit. Instead of using the typical bitter orange peel, I was looking at a Blue Moon clone, and found out they used to use sweet orange peel in the brew. So I decided to give that a try instead of the bitter. I don't know exactly what the differences are. I think, given the name, I think the bitter adds a little more bitterness, but I'll stick with the sweet orange peel. And then that's 1 ounce of sweet orange peel, and then I'm going to crush this 1 ounce of coriander seed. And just as a bonus, I had some frozen lemongrass in my freezer as well, so I'm going to measure out about 1.5 ounces of this and throw it in with the orange peel and the coriander, just to see what kind of flavor I can get out of that. And those will be added the last 5 minutes of the boil. Another thing to mention, the USO 5 is a pretty clean tasting yeast, so I'm hoping to get some of these orange peel and lemongrass out of the flavor out of the beer. One thing, you do have to crush the coriander seed. You don't have to grind it to a powder, but you can also use powder if you don't have a whole seed. So I don't have my grain mill with me, so I'm basically going to use a cutting board and a wooden roller and just kind of crush it with that. And same with the 6-row. My roller is a grain crusher is at a friend's house, he was out of town, so I'm gonna use the wooden rolling pin to crush that out as well. A couple other things I have is just a thermometer, just a brew in a bag. This is just for the partial mash. It's not needed, it just makes it a little easier. You can strain it out with a regular strainer or colander if you have that instead. And then I just got a $1 hop sock to throw lemongrass, coriander, and orange peel in. It's not necessary as well. It just makes it a little bit easier when you're brewing. As you can see, I have my pot. I put about 5 liters of water in there. It doesn't look like much. I was actually going to mash with less for the 2 pounds, but it seemed I needed a little more water to cover the pot, so I added it. So I'm heating 5 liters of water up to 155 degrees Fahrenheit so when I mix in the grain, 2 pounds of grain, that I get it. I'm aiming for 149 degree Fahrenheit mash, which will hold for about 35 minutes. Okay, it's reached 155. I'm going to dump in the 1 pound flaked oats. Remember, this stuff is completely optional. Here's the, I guess, 1.5 pounds of crushed 6-row. I think I crushed most of it, but I think I only need 1 pound of 2-row 6-row per pound of flaked oats to convert it. So I think I got more than enough here. Just mix that in. This is more liquidy or more runny than regular mash since I have more water in it. Let's take a temperature, see where it lines up. It looks like just right around 149, 150. So let's turn off the heat for now. Just put the lid on. Set the timer for 35 minutes. The 35 minutes is up. Basically what it looks like. Now we can take out the brew in the bag. And just let it drain. Also let's pour a little bit of sparge water over it to make sure I get all the liquid out of the grains as well. So here's the 1 ounce of sweet orange peel, the 1 ounce of coriander seed that I crushed with the rolling pin, and then about 1.5 to 2 ounces of lemongrass. I'm going to put it into this hop sock, and then add it to the boil with 5 minutes left. So the oats and 6-row mixture has come to a boil, so I've taken it off the element, and I'm adding the 3 pounds of wheat dry malt extract. Just stir that in really well. Once it's all been mixed in really well, bring it back to the heat and bring it up to a boil. Once it hits a nice rolling boil, we'll set the timer for 8 to 10 minutes. So now it's at a rolling boil. I set the timer for 10 minutes, and then once it hits 5 minutes left in the boil, I'll add the coriander, orange peel, and lemongrass. So it's 5 minutes. Now I've just put my bag of orange peel, coriander, and lemongrass in. Try and get that to sink in. That smells fantastic. So I've transferred the wort into the bucket from the stove. I'll take the label off, some boiling water to try and loosen up the Cooper's can. Might not be able to get this on camera, but I'm going to take a can opener, open up the Cooper's can, and then pour it into here. Now I'm pouring the Cooper's kit into the fermenter. Now let's rinse it out with some boiling water. So I ended up topping up the fermenter to about 23, maybe 23 and a half liters. Not that I was trying to get that exact amount of beer. I was more trying to hit original gravity that I was aiming for. I think it was going for 1050, and it looks like it's 1052. So that's close enough for me. So it'll be in the 5% range, the beer, and that's kind of what I was looking to get out of it. Got it right around 25 degrees Celsius. Now I'm going to pitch the yeast. Just going to sprinkle it on top. So this is about 3 days after I added the yeast. Trying to keep the temperature around 20 degrees Celsius. The fermentation looks like it's off to a good start. It smells delicious. Looking forward to drinking this one. Hopefully in the next few weeks we'll probably bottle this in 1 week from now, and then a few weeks after that I'll try and post a tasting video. Thanks again for watching. Alright, cheers.